to say he wanted to be the Iowa State football coach. It's my pleasure to introduce our new head football coach, Matt Campbell.
Well, I'll say this. I'm truly humbled, honored, and privileged to be a part of this great university and this great football program. It's an honor for me to be the new head football coach here. It's honestly been a whirlwind 72 hours, and Jamie kind of hit the nail on the head. It's been crazy. But as fate has led us here, I am beyond thankful and beyond grateful to be the new leader of this football program. This process truly doesn't happen without the vision, and I think you guys know, the persistence of tremendous leaders. One of the finest athletic directors in the country, who quite honestly has built one of the most incredible athletic departments in the entire country, and that's Jamie Pollard. For this to even happen, I know Jamie. It had to be the right fit for him. And I think as you get to know me, it's all about people. It had to be the right fit for myself and my beautiful family. Jamie told the story, and Jamie told it correct. 2 years ago, we had the great opportunity to come here and play a football game. And for whatever reason that day, maybe it was poor planning by the head football coach, we got here about 2 hours and 45 minutes before the game started. So I'm nervous constantly. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to go out and I'm just going to walk around. And I want to see this place. And as we came in, I was just so impressed with the fans and the energy and the excitement that surrounded this place. And I said, I want to get out there and just see what this is about. And so as a matter of fact, I walked out on the field and kind of walked up the visitor side of the stadium and overlooked the grass practice fields. And as I watched the team do the spirit walk coming in, I was blown away. The support, the energy, the fans. And I couldn't have been more impressed with what was going on. And then the game occurred, and every seat was full. The energy, the spirit, the culture that sat around this program was incredible. And as the game ended, we left, and I got to the bus, and before I got on the bus, Jamie's right, I made that phone call. And I told my wife, I said, Erica, you're not going to believe this place. Incredible. Culture, fans, facilities, people. This is a really special place. And I'll tell my Toledo story in a little bit, but you know, this is a place that's different than a lot of places that I've been. It's got great people. It's a great place. I could see us at a place like this someday. And so, you know, it's amazing that fate has had this turn in my life. And Jamie, I'm thankful and I'm grateful for you believing in me and trusting in me. Now, I do know this. Culture doesn't just happen. Culture comes from amazing leadership from the top. And I want to thank President Leith. I'm floored by the energy and the vision and the leadership that we've even had the opportunity in 2 days to see from you. You breed excellence. And for me, the only thing I can promise you is I'm going to do everything in my power to breed the same excellence into our football program that you've breeded into this university. And I want to thank you for your support of me. The last person I want to thank as well is I want to thank David Harris. And I know David's here. And David, thank you. You've been a great bridge of communication, of leadership in this short process. But I can already tell you've been a steadying rock for me in the early parts of getting this going. And I really appreciate you, and I think we're going to have a really special relationship. I look forward to continuing to develop that with you, but thank you as well. Now for me, my journey a little bit. My journey doesn't happen today without the great people at the University of Toledo. I want to thank Mike O'Brien, our great athletic director there, who believed in me. 4 years ago, similar time frame, Coach Ianni, I know, is sitting back there. And Coach Ianni and I were in a recruiting trip to Chicago, Illinois. Halfway there, I get a phone call from our athletic director, and he says, Matt, how would you like to be the youngest coach in Division I football and come back and lead our football program? So we turned around, and we had 3 days to get this interview done. We had 3 hours, Coach Lou, to get that interview done. And in 3 hours, I became the new head football coach at the University of Toledo. I owe Mike the courage and the foresight to believe in me. We built one of the finest programs in the Mid-American Conference. What we've done there in 4 years is unheard of. We became one of the 4 rights of the Mid-American Conference. We've become a national presence this year, ranked in the top 25 throughout the entire year. And we've done some unbelievable things hand in hand of building that football program. I also want to thank our players there. And as my new Iowa State players find out, it's all about the players. It's not about Matt Campbell. It's about our players. I walked in to Toledo 7 years ago as an assistant at the offensive coordinator, and we inherited a 3-9 football team. And in 7 years, we flipped it from 3-9 to 9-2. And we did it because our players trusted into the process that it takes to be elite. They trusted in. They believed what was going on. We coached with unbelievable attitude and effort, but those young men trusted into the process that it takes to be special. The hardest thing for me to take this job was to walk into a staff room yesterday at 4 o'clock and look into the eyes of those young men that laid their guts out for me and our coaching staff, believed in me, and did everything in their power to take Toledo football to where it is today. I'll forever love those guys. I'm so proud to be their football coach, and I'll miss them greatly. I also want to do this. I want to thank the community and the people of the University of Toledo. We built something really special and something different there. It wasn't just about winning and losing football games. Team GPA of over a 3.0 the last 4 semesters there, 105 young men. One of the highest APR rankings in the country. Our young men did things right on and off the football field, and quite honestly, that only happens if there's a total buy-in value, a total trust-in value from the community and the university. Great people, and I'll miss them greatly, and I wouldn't be here without each and every one of them. My own foundation in coaching, I'd be remiss not to thank 3 of the greatest mentors that I've ever had to get me to this point today. Number 1, my father. My father, a longtime high school head football coach and administrator, and a gentleman that my greatest memories as a young child is going to 2-a-day practice and watching my father coach the game of football. And what he taught me was work ethic, and do the right thing. 2 simple qualities that go a long way. Number 2, my high school football coach, who ironically is going to be playing for a state championship, the first in school history this coming Friday. A gentleman that's the winningest Ohio high school football coach in Ohio high school history. A gentleman that molded me into these 2 foundations, attitude and effort. 2 things that takes no talent to control on a day in, day out basis. The attitude and effort that you come in with and you lead with. And last but not least, maybe the greatest mentor for me was my college football coach, a gentleman by the name of Larry Karras, the winningest all-time college football coach in college football history. A man that won multiple national championships, the highest winning percentage ever in college football history, and honestly, a man that changed my life. There's a sign at Mount Union as you go in, and everybody wants to know what's the mystique of Mount Union. Pretty simple. The sign says as you go into the locker room, faith, family, football. That order. Changed my life, and I'm unbelievably grateful for all 3 of those great mentors. The greatest blessing in my life is my great family. And I'll say this. I'm the head coach now at Iowa State, but the head coach of our family is no question is my beautiful wife, Erica. Our story is really simple. We're high school sweethearts. She's been with me every step of the way. and she is unbelievably the rock of my life. We've been through a lot. She's been the steadying force the entire way through, and I know I wouldn't be here without her love and support. I love you, and I'm thankful for you. Katie and Izzy. So Cyclone Nation just got two, also the greatest cheerleaders you're going to find. So you can already see they're in their cardinal and gold. We got them ready to rock and roll. But I love them greatly. Their support has been unbelievable. I miss you and love you with all my heart. To my little guy Rudy, sitting in the back, okay, he's already ready to rock and roll. He's got his tie on today, looks pretty sharp. He's a budding tight end recruit, so we're getting him ready to go. Tight end, defensive end, he'll be ready to go, I know it. And then a new arrival in the Campbell family in February, and we can't wait. Our fourth child comes in February, so it'll just add to a little bit of the craziness in the Campbell house. I also want to thank my parents. As I said, my father, a longtime head high school football coach, an administrator, and educator. Unbelievably grateful for everything he's taught me. My mother, Elaine Campbell, who is, quite honestly, again, another educator, somebody that has always believed in education and the value of doing the right thing, and sometimes gets shortchanged because my father being a head football coach. But without both of my parents, quite honestly, I know I wouldn't be here today, and I think I've got some of the greatest qualities of both of my parents. I'm so thankful for each and every one of them. My in-laws, Melody and Tim Smith, I'm so thankful for, and all their support that they continue to have. Erica's father, Mike Hama, continues to be a great support system for me. Now, before I answer questions, I want to say a couple things. Number one, I know this. Paul Rhodes is a great man. I know he's beloved by this community. I know he's laid a tremendous foundation to Iowa State football. I have the utmost respect for Coach Rhodes. And I know this. My job is to continue to grow that foundation and continue to take it to an elite level. I said this, and you'll hear me talk about this. In life, change is inevitable. Change happens. But greatness is a choice. Our ability to wake up day in and day out, control our attitude and effort, greatness is a choice. From this day forward, every decision that I make will be strained to bring greatness to the fans, alumni, community, the great students, and the great student athletes that I get a chance to coach on a day in, day out basis. I'm truly honored to be a Cyclone, and I'm truly honored and humbled to be the head football coach here. With that said, I certainly would love to open it up to any questions you have.
For the news media, please raise your hand so we can get a wireless mic to you, and if you could give a name and affiliation, that would help, Matt. Thanks.
Randy Peterson from the Des Moines Register. First of all, before I ask my question, when you were walking the tailgates, did you get a brought beverage?
Too nervous to. I should have, though, because I was pretty hungry by the end of that day.
Did anybody notice you? Did they recognize you?
No, I'm sometimes I'm pretty good at being incognito.
All right, no. Many coaches, football coaches at Iowa State have tried to make this a consistent winner.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been able to do it. What makes you think you can do that?
Well, to me, I think two of the things that I would say before even getting into this, it's about people. The people from a leadership standpoint of this university are second to none. And Jamie said this, there were multiple options. This place is special. Number two, the fan support, the facilities, what you have the opportunity to sell are outstanding. I think you can go to multiple places across the country and not have what this university has. And for me, it's about putting together an unbelievable plan, great people, great leaders, and come in here, recruit really, really well, and put the best football team we can on the football field each and every Saturday. I believe in myself. I believe in our process. I believe in the coaching staff that I'm going to bring in here. And quite honestly, I believe in the players that we have here right now at Iowa State.
Popular just with the interview, you said greatness is a choice. What do you have to do if you reach that with the greatest wish?
Well, I think it's going to be a process. You're going to hear me talk a lot about process and probably get annoyed with it at times. But I believe this, that to reach your full potential, That's what I'm going to ask each and every one of these young men that I get a chance to meet with today to do. And to get to that point, that's hard. It takes discipline and commitment. It takes the foundation of, from my end, to bring that day in and day out as well. You can't just talk it, you have to show it. And, you know, to be great, to put yourself in that category, it takes people reaching their full potential on a day in, day out basis. Coaches, everybody in every hand that touches this program has to show that. And we have to be unified and be doing it together. And so to me, it is about process, and it's about the ability to reach your full potential as a coach, as a player, and whoever touches our Iowa State football program.
Tommy Birch from the Des Moines Register. What kind of a timeline do you have for getting a staff in place, and do you already have some guys in mind?
You know, that's a good question. Obviously, I'm a very loyal person. I would be a fool to sit here and tell you that Matt Campbell did any of this by himself. We have a great staff sitting back at Toledo. And so I have to be, I'm first and foremost going to honor the really good assistant coaches here in terms of talking to them before I do anything with any finality. Obviously, Coach Ianni, who I think all of you know, and myself have a tremendous relationship, coach for me, and more than anything, have a great friendship in terms of football and the game of football. Coach Ianni will stay on staff here, and so he would be my first hire. After that, it's going to be evaluating what do we need, how do we put it together, and then, you know, I would like to, recruiting's at a premium right now, and I think we know this. We have 2 weeks until there's a dead period, and I don't want to miss those 2 weeks. So I'd like to hurry, but also I'm not going to hurry and make a mistake. I'm going to be diligent. I'm going to do a really good job of making sure we put the right people here. Our football players here deserve the right people, and I'm going to make sure I do that the right way.
Jamie had mentioned you got to work Saturday night. What were some of those first things you wanted to do and have been doing so far?
Well, it started with staff, you know, kind of big picture idea. What and who fits what the criteria I really believe we need to be successful here. Number 2, recruiting. I like to recruit. You win with players, and getting on that recruiting trail early was really important to me. And then, you know, the biggest thing I think would sit around those 2 areas, and then obviously my wife and I making sure we kind of are getting everything set. It's a quick turnaround with 4 kids.
Excuse me. Jamie said that your offense is a run-first offense, and you're in a kind of a pass-first league, at least it appears that way. What are your thoughts on Mike Warren? What have you seen from him? Heard from him, heard about him, in Iowa State's running game?
Yeah. Let me talk about Mike first, and then let me get a little bit into philosophy from my end. First of all, about Michael. So I think I may make him run a little bit extra, you know, from the start of this thing, because I tried to recruit Michael at Toledo. He was committed there, and but made a great decision. And obviously, Coach Ianni had recruited him and has done a great job with him. Michael, a 1,300-yard rusher this year plus, had tremendous success. Got to watch him really grow as a back, and I think the world of him. 2 great parents who I got a chance to meet during the recruiting process, and I think he'll be a great foundation to the success we have moving forward. I know this. He's still a young pup, and I think you're only going to see him get bigger and better. You know, he's got one of the best running back coaches in the country to continue to lead his growth, so I can see him continuing to grow as a football player. Number 2, let's talk philosophy a little bit. And whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, the core belief of my philosophy goes like this. It's really simple. Players, formations, plays. Who are the players that you have in your program? And obviously, I'm going to be learning that here in the next couple incoming days, weeks, months, spring practice, fall camp, all those things. Who are your players? Dictate what plays that you run, and then obviously what formations you run those out of. And I'm not silly. It's about players and getting those players the ball offensively, putting them in position to be successful, run, pass. Obviously, we're going to be physical. It's the foundation of who we are at it. We're going to be an attitude and effort-based football program. And, you know, we're going to build things through our offense and defensive line, and we're going to do do those things the right way. But from my end of it, you know, it's the same thing defensively. Who are our players? dictate what formations do we get in, what plays and calls do we make to put them in the situation to be successful. Players win games, not coaches. And we have to do a great job putting those players in position to win us football games.
Coach Chris Williams from CycloneFanatic.com. As far as recruiting goes, you have a vast history of Ohio, Pennsylvania, the upper Midwest. Being that you're in the Big 12, do you plan on keeping the upper Midwest part of your wheelhouse, or do you plan on going south some as well?
Well, I think we gotta sit back and look at that, but we're the Big 12 option in the Midwest, right? And so we got something to sell. And quite honestly, we're going to go where our roots are. Again, we're going to be an attitude and effort-based program. We're going to find the guys that fit that mold. One of the things that I really love in recruiting is not just the recruiting process, but identifying at each and every position, what are we looking for? We're not just going to go out and recruit guys. We're going to recruit guys that fit the mold of what's a left tackle look like, what's a left guard look like, here's what a center, the qualities he has to have. What's a safety have to do, the corner. And so to me, we're going to identify that so we don't miss in the recruiting process or try to do as good of a job not missing. That happens sometimes. And then on top of that, where are we going to go? How do we continue to find that? I think one of the great things about recruiting today is with the internet and obviously video, it's a national game. It's not just local. But I do think we have a great 4-hour footprint. And, first and foremost, the state of Iowa, we're going to do our due diligence to be in every school and do an unbelievable job recruiting this state. And from there, we'll grow, and from there, we'll take our program to where we need to be successful. So we'll have a great plan. We're going to have a staff, all 9 are going to be great recruiters, I can promise you.
Matt, you talked about process, your culture, blueprint for success, not just recruiting, but the entire program. Is there anything with that you're willing to alter or change because you're now at Iowa State and in the Big 12 as opposed to Toledo and Matt?
No, I think process and culture, it doesn't matter if it's President Leith in building the university from a presidential standpoint, or Jamie from building an athletic department, or in my situation, building a football program. I don't think when you've had success, you're always tweaking, you're always learning, you're always growing as a football coach. And listen, I get it, I'm young, right? I'm going to continue to grow as a coach, I know that. And if not, then as soon as you think you got to figure it out, you get humbled really fast. But the foundational principles of growth and building and culture, I don't think those change. And so I think we'll stick really close to what we know and believe in. But as time goes and we continue on, obviously I'm not afraid to say, hey, I think I know it all, and I'm not going to change for the benefit of our young men and for our football program.
Iowa State in recent years has hit the junior college trail. What are your thoughts on junior college recruiting?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think, we'll see it as fit, especially, as we see our needs, what our needs are or are not, obviously within this process. I know we have some of the finest junior colleges in a 4-hour radius from us, that have developed some of the finest young men, and I've had an opportunity to get to know some of those coaches through my time at Toledo. So I'm not afraid to go in there. I know what kind of job that these coaches do in enhancing these young men, both academically and athletically, to prepare them to play Division I athletics. So I think we'll be calculated. We'll know it. Again, it goes back to the principle and the philosophy of, do they fit Iowa State? Do they fit what we're looking for? And then third and foremost, can they do it in the classroom and athletically for us to be successful?
There are a lot of fans who have seen other people turn this into kind of a leaping board job for another job. What do you say to fans who are worried about that with you?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think really simple. 7 years at Toledo, all 7 years opportunity to leave. And in my opinion, this place is special. I'm as loyal as you're going to get. I really believe that the building process and taking something and making it special is what I love to do. That's not a short-term fix. You're not going to see a short-term fix by myself or our staff. And we're here for the long haul. I believe in the people here. I've already seen the commitment that so many have made to this great university. And quite honestly, I look forward to raising my family here in Ames, Iowa.
Matt, you vet the team yet? Have you had to talk with them?
You know, I have not. Now, I'll tell you this. I reached out to a couple young men last night on the phone. I really look forward to that opportunity. I think today Jamie's got me scheduled to meet with the team, and I really look forward to it because, like I said, I think I've got an opportunity to watch this team, obviously playing against them this year, and watch how hard they play and what they've done to put themselves in a situation to take the next step here. And but I'm really excited. I really am, and I really look forward to that.
Who did you reach out to last time?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'd like to keep that private until a later date, you know. But you know, some young men that when I watched that film was really impressed, you know, with not just them as football players, but them as leaders. And you know, I just wanted to just say hello, introduce myself. But I'm going to meet with every player in our program one-on-one in the next 2 days. This is going to be an open. This again, it's not a Matt Campbell deal. It's a all-in, trust-in process. And this is going to be an open-door policy to my office. You know, I want our players to know who I am. I want our players to know who our coaches are. It's about trust, and it's about that factor of, does this coach really care about me? And I'll say this quote, it's going to sit in our staff room, and this is a Coach Tressel quote, kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care about them. And we're going to demand a lot of our players. We are. It's going to be really hard. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to love them and we're going to care about them.
Coach, the fact that you've played this team the last 2 years, does that give you a little bit of a leg up on this knowledge of the type of team you're inheriting?
I hope so, a little bit. You know, obviously, you know, really impressed with what we prepared for the last 2 years and who we had to prepare against. And so knowing about some of the foundational pieces that surround this team, I think I have maybe a little bit of a knowledge of what we're inheriting and what we're coming into. But really, until we sit down, until we see work ethic and commitment, how you go into the weight room day in and day out, how you show up with a work ethic, and really how you come to be the best player you can be, you really don't know. And so we're going to instill that, and we're going to begin that about 45 minutes. And then I look forward to the process of our growth here. And but I think definitely knowing who some of these young men are and what their capability looks like, I'm excited about.
Coach, Jason Van Ark with Total Radio. You talked earlier about players determining formations and plays. Defensively, Iowa State in the last year transitioned from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Do you have a preference one way or the other, or is that been entirely in place now?
Yeah, again, I probably a little bit too early for me to sit here and give you a definite. I see offense and defense like this, though. I kind of see it as the whole pizza. You know, you got to have pepperoni, you got to have green pepper, you got to have onion, you got to have sausage. You got to have a little bit of everything today in the world of college football. If you're just this or this, that's pretty hard, because offense and defenses are too good today. And so I think there's got to be, you have to be multiple in how you approach things in every phase. And we haven't even touched special teams, which I'm a firm believer in. And so those three phases, we're going to have to do a great job of being multiple. How multiple can we be depends on what our players look like and what their capabilities are. And so again, that's why I think the recruiting process, us getting a great jump on this and continuing to make sure that we develop the young people in our program today, are going to be critical to our success.
Coach Campbell, John Schaefer with WOY Local 5. What's going to be the biggest or most difficult transition from the MAC to the Big 12 for you personally?
Yeah, you know, that's a great question. I don't even know if I have an answer for that. Haven't we seen today in college football, like, I think it's pretty similar across the board. You know, we went into SEC country this year and played pretty good football. Went into Big 12 country and played pretty good football. I think we built our program at Toledo just like any of these elite programs have, or a top 25 program looks. So transition is, I know this, it's a great conference. I have the utmost respect for the teams in this conference. Great challenges ahead of us, but I don't know if it's any different than any other job across the country. And so, you know, we'll prepare as such. Maybe I'll have a better answer for you down the road, but right now, that's how I see it.
Coach John Sears, WHO-TV. What do you need to win that is not currently in place at Iowa State?
Too early for me to tell you that. I don't know. I know some of what I can tell you is what is in place. What is in place is great leadership. What is in place is great facilities. What is in place is great support. What is in place is unbelievable fan base. From there, I'm going to have to evaluate that in probably the next 3, 4, 5 months. But, you know, that's why I'm here, because those things are really hard to get. And to me, you know, now it's my job to put together a great staff, put together great people, and continue to raise the level of excellence of what this program is going to stand for on a day-in, day-out basis.
Alex Olson, Scout.com. I guess, what's the next month like for you? For you, I don't know, there's 2 weeks you can go ring home and all that, and maybe your JUCO days coming up. What's that like with travel and trying to get some of that accomplished, and especially with some of the commits that are already here?
Chaos is probably the best answer. It's going to be chaos. Not a lot of sleep, and you know, we're going to hit the ground running as fast as we can go, because I don't want to miss an opportunity to go out and go into homes and sell what we have to offer. And so we're going to get it done. You know, it's about work ethic, and our coaches are going to work as hard or harder than anybody in the country. So we're going to get it done, and you know, that's our choice.
Coach, how important is it for you to try and lock down as many in-state recruits as possible, sticking with Iowa ties?
Huge, in my opinion. Huge. I think that it's got to be the foundation and cornerstone of what we build our recruiting from, you know, and I really look forward to getting into the high schools and getting to meet the Iowa State football coaches. I do, because I think I've heard so many great things. I've heard so much about, obviously, the growth and really where the young men that play high school football in this state have taken programs. So I'm going to do a really good job of the evaluation. We'll start there as we grow our board and grow our recruiting process, but we'll start right here at home.
Coach Jordan Furby with Local 5 down in Des Moines. Obviously, Iowa State has had some trouble in the past. Coaches have tried to come in here and change the program to get them winning. When you look at some other Big 12 programs like TCU and Baylor, they've struggled in the past until they kind of got coaches. Do you take kind of comfort in knowing that it can be done in this conference, and is that maybe 2 programs you'd like to emulate?
Yeah, you know, that's a great point. You see what some of the great coaches in this conference has done. Bill Snyder has done a great job, obviously, at Kansas State. It's been done. And, again, it's about having the foundation around you to get this thing done. And we've got a great foundation around this program. So, to me, that's the great challenge. I love a challenge. I love to build. And that's why I knew this was the right place for Matt Campbell.
Do we have any more questions? Okay, Matt, welcome to.
Yeah, Coach, I'd like to remind you, I know you know this is a cyclone state. It's not a Hawkeye state, it is a cyclone state.
You know, I heard there was a good billboard that was maybe put up about the Cyclone State. So I do know that. I love rivalry. And if you look at my track record in rivalry, it's pretty darn good. Fair enough? All right.
Thank you, Matt. Welcome to Iowa State, and go
Thank you.
Cyclones.